Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Across the Ocean. My name's James in Miami.
And this is Matthias, straight from Zurich.
And Matthias and I get together to bring you this show packed full of hints and tips for the budding underwater image maker. And in this episode, we're going to be giving you the best gear that we've used in 2021 as our holiday gift guide. We are back once again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us. Matthias, buddy, you look like you are full of the holiday season joy. How are you?
I'm fantastic, man. It's the happiest season of the year. Christmas is just in front or around the corner, and I can't wait for that time of the year. It really is one of my favorite times of the year. All the, fluffy heads and Christmas decorations in the background, all the lights, all the family, the presents, the cheering, the singing. I like it. I can't say it any other way.
Yeah, and look, don't let the lack of decorations and the lack of Santa hat fool you. I am absolutely just as looking forward to Christmas as you are. Ooh. My favourite time of the year. It's just that Karina and I are going away this year. Nice. So we didn't bother to go up into the attic and bring all the decorations down and do all that because we're not going to be here. So it didn't seem to make an awful lot of sense. Now, before we dive into your favourite dive gear from 2021, I have a very important question to ask you. How was Egypt?
Oh man, Egypt was fantastic. As always, as expected, that dive destination just never disappoints. We had 5-6 full days of full-on diving, 4-5 dives a day on a, I would say my favorite house reef in all of Egypt, and it was just a blast. We captured so much content for the channel that is gonna be published over the next couple of weeks, so make sure if you want to see some really good footage of Egypt underwater, make sure to watch out this space and just lean back and enjoy. That's what it's all about.
Oh, good, mate. I'm so happy to hear that Egypt was a success for you, and I'm especially happy to hear that you were able to get that trip planned short notice because, and for you guys watching this, a little bit of backstory, you might remember a few months ago that Matthias and I had plans for him to come over to the US, hang out here in the dive locker, obviously make some content, go for some dives, and then we were going to travel together to the DEMA show, the big underwater diving and imaging conference in Las Vegas. And we were all stoked and super excited for that, and our plans were all in place and all that kind of stuff. And then we started to look at the attendee list, and we started to notice that some of the major manufacturers and people that we would be going to see and support and hang out with and film with started to withdraw their booths because, again, COVID, damn COVID, just seemed to be sort of pulling out. Backscatter weren't going anymore, Dive Right weren't going anymore, Scuba Pro, all the sort of big boy manufacturers were going. And we just felt for the investment that it would cost both of us to actually go to DEMA this year, we wouldn't get a hell of a lot out of it. So we've put those plans in hold. We have a lot of exciting stuff planned for next year that Matthias and I are going to be collaborating on. So yeah, mate, I'm just super happy that you were able to take that time that you were going to go to Las Vegas and actually do something productive with it, and you got a great trip to Egypt in. And I personally can't wait to see all of the awesome footage I'm sure that you shot over there because, like you said, it's always a great time. So just a little bit of backstory on that. Matthias made use of his time. He got out to Egypt. I actually took a student, so I was teaching anyway. And we both managed to fill that time in. But sad I didn't get to see you over here. I was really looking forward to showing you the Spiegel Grove, but I know it will happen.
Same here.
It'll happen sometime soon for sure. So
it's just postponed, not cancelled.
Exactly. I like that. Good. All right, let's dive straight into it then, mate. What are some of the underwater camera gear that you've been enjoying this year that you would recommend any underwater film lover put on their wish list for the holiday season this year? Or what are you hoping Santa might put into your stocking?
There's a few things actually. Well, first of all, I want to talk about some new lights that I've discovered this year. I was able to test out quite a few different action cams this year, and as you might know with action cam, well, you've got quite a bit of experience with GoPros from your underwater filming in sort of the past days already. The problem with action cams is mostly that their sensor is very small and they just don't take enough light. So you need to really bring some extra lights with you to be able to get some decent looking footage, in particular if you're not shooting just wide angle stuff with your action cams. So I came across a underwater video light that I find is the perfect match for any underwater action camera, or any action camera when you go filming with it underwater. And it's this one here. It's the Backscatter Macro Wide 4300 underwater video light. As the name says, it's made by the company Backscatter, and it's their own product. They've put all their experience with underwater imaging that they've built up over the past, 20 years or so into creating this piece of equipment. And I think it really is a close to perfect underwater video light, specifically for small compact cameras and action cams. It is something that has a fair bit of power. It's got 4300 lumen, which is bright enough to just give you that kick of light into your images, but at the same time it's compact enough. I personally film with the Kelden lights underwater, but they're like 3 times the size and heavier, and this one is actually really, really cool. One thing that I really like about these lights is that they have exchangeable batteries. So you can buy several of these batteries and you can very quickly and easily exchange the batteries in between your dive, and that's specifically useful if you're on a day boat and you do use the light often. You can exchange the batteries in between dives and you've got a full set of, or you just regained full power for the next dive on that light. So this is definitely something that I can recommend to everyone filming with smaller action cameras or smaller compact cameras. Personally, I was actually sent this by Backscatter to test it out after they launched the light earlier this year, and this is actually the Christmas present that I'm making myself. I'm actually getting a pair of these for my GoPro because I think it just works perfectly in such a setup. The second piece, we're staying with sort of compact cameras, is this one here. This is, hold it up to the camera so you can see it a little better. This is the Sea Life Sport Diver smartphone housing. If you've seen any of the content on my channel, you know that I've tested out a few of these smartphone housings previously on my channel, and I was never really 100% happy with those housings for several reasons. Some of them I just didn't really trust them 100% with the integrity of the housing and putting my cell phone in there. Others were limited in the functions, so I wasn't really able to use all the functions of my phone. And let's be honest, nowadays if you're using any current cell phone, whether that be the iPhone 13, 12, 11 or any Android phone that is sort of from a newer date, they've got really good cameras in there and a lot of IA that is working its magic behind the camera lens, right? So it would be a shame not to be able to use that, but you can only really use that if you can access all the cameras that the cell phone has. And that was not possible with any of the previous models of smartphone housings that I've tried. And with this one, with the Sport Diver by Sea Life, it actually is possible. And that makes a huge difference to me. I've had this housing with me for about 3 months now. I've done a fair bit of diving with it. I've taken it to cover the World Championship on Porto Santo in Portugal earlier in the year. And I've done quite a few dives here in the Swiss lakes with it as well. And I am very convinced that this is the best housing that is out there for your smartphone at this time. And I can really recommend everyone who doesn't want to buy a specific camera for filming underwater and just wants to use their smartphone, get this housing. You're not gonna regret it. It is a really good buy at a price point of around $300, which is really very fairly priced. Put a light onto it and you've got a fantastic combo there. And before you guys come now at me and say, well, I don't want to put my cell phone in there, my whole life is in my cell phone, all that sort of stuff. Remember that with this housing here, you've got a vacuum system and you've got a leak detection alarm in here as well. So it is highly unlikely that anything will happen to your phone in here. And even if a little bit of water gets in there, remember all of the modern phones, they are at least splash to even waterproof to a certain degree. So just a tiny little bit of water won't kill your cell phone right away. So that's my second one there. And for my last tip, my last gift idea, I actually have to just slide my chair a little back because I need to show you something that I've got on my foot. Have a look at this. This is a marine themed pair of socks. It's got sharks on it. I know the focus is not working its magic right now. Maybe better like this. You can see the sharkies there. For those guys of you who don't know me very well, I love crazy socks, crazy prints on my socks. I'm not a black or a white sock guy, not at all. I like them to be colorful and just crazy. And I've come across this company, actually a Swiss company, that produces socks with marine themes. It's fantastic. They've got all kinds of different fish on there, and they've got a package now on sale that includes 4 socks, and it's sort of like a mismatch. So you can match them with each other whichever way you like. So you get 6 different combinations with 4 socks, and I love it. This is definitely something that I want to have in my Christmas, underneath my Christmas tree. That's the way to say it. And if you do have someone who is a fish lover and an underwater enthusiast, I think this is the gift for this year.
Socks. I don't know what socks are, mate, because I live in Miami. But I like it. I like it a lot, and it's a thoughtful thing. I like it very much. Thanks for showing us your feet as well, because I didn't know you had legs until you just showed them like that. Nobody on YouTube knows that we have legs. I know. So that was pretty good.
I know. This is just the part being on YouTube, right? I mean, we could be half man, half machine.
Could be. I could be half man, half horse. You wouldn't know.
Are you?
A centaur.
Oh. Would you please stand up for me?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I am standing.
All right. So
I'm only 4 foot tall.
Those are mine. My gift ideas for this Christmas for people into underwater imaging, or underwater in general when we talk about the socks. So what have you got on your wish list there, mate?
I got 3 things. It will come as no surprise to watchers of my channel Divers Ready that I have been enjoying and playing around with the GoPro Hero 10. Yes, I've been using GoPros for a long time, and in the past I've always felt that going from the 6 to the 7 to the 8 to the 9, there wasn't a great increase. There was a few nice little tips and tricks, just enough to tempt you, to tease you a little bit, and hey, we're going to give you this little feature or this little feature. And I feel like the jump from 9 to 10 is huge. It is definitely worth an upgrade. If you have a 9, anything older than a 9, to go to the 10, now you're getting 5.3K at 60 frames per second. So you're shooting that underwater, slowing it down 40% to bring it down to a 24 frames per second timeline, and you can crop in up to 132% and still have 4K, which most phones and YouTube and all this kind of good stuff is totally comfortable displaying in a nice fluid way. So you get almost like a zoom effect on an action camera, which, let's be honest, focal length and framing is always an issue with action cameras, and get that sort of, super wide, you're miles away from them. Now you can actually zoom in and still retain 4K. So that for me has been absolutely huge to play around with. The processor has greatly improved the photo capability, the speed of processing the photos, and the low light performance with the new sensor and a better processor. So I've been absolutely blown away by that camera. I did do a full review of it on our channel Divers Ready. I'll link it up above there somewhere. But I've been having a lot of fun with it. So big fan of that. Just in the simple dive housing, just with the backscatter flip filter system, that has been rocking my world for the last sort of 4 months. Another thing on my wish list, which I've been enjoying playing around with, is the Solar Night Sea from Light and Motion. This is something I never thought that I would be into, because I don't do a great deal of night diving. But it basically what it is a UV or a blue LED underwater light that brings out the biofluorescence in all the corals and gives you a completely wacky and different sort of perspective on your night dives. The kit comes with the charger obviously and the hand mount just like every solar, but it also comes with a yellow filter that you can put over your mask, or a yellow filter that you can put over the lens of the light, which makes all the colors pop on the reef. It really is like some kind of weird LSD trip out, you know, neon party from the late 80s, early 90s, glow sticks at the ready. Crazy way to experience coral and to see them in a scope of light that we as filmmakers don't usually get to see. So I used to think, oh, it would be like a novelty gimmick sort of thing, but I'm actually really into it, and I'm getting some pretty cool results. So pretty excited about that one.
You've sold it there already. With that description, I want to have one or two of them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun to play around with. So yeah, it's blown me away. I'm super happy with them, and I think everyone should just throw one in the kit bag. They are not that expensive, and they're really, really fun to play around with, particularly if you are a night diving enthusiast. So, and then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to, hang on, let me just press the play button here. There we go. So, sad piano music. I want to, have your complete attention at this special time of year, because really the holidays are all about giving. And if I'm honest, what could be better to give and to receive than the gift of education? Improving skills and gaining satisfaction from increasing your ability to perform, create underwater imaging that you can be proud of and that you can show your friends and family is really why you're watching this film, and really why we're in this game to begin with. So what could be better than giving your loved ones, the underwater filmmaker in your life, the gift that is the Matthias Lebo Underwater Film School courses? I don't think there is a better present at this time of year.
Thank you very much, James.
Absolutely. Matthias wasn't ready for that. He didn't know that was what I was going to do. But there we go. So here's the thing. Matthias gave me secret, early preview. Hey, can you go through and, just check it, make sure I haven't made any erroneous mistakes. And I went through the whole course and ended up learning a whole ton of stuff that I didn't even know, even though I've been making these shows with Matthias for so long. So there is so much value and so much content packed into these courses that I know it took you a hell of a long time to develop, and a hell of a lot of effort and editing and platform augmentation and all this kind of good stuff to get it exactly the way you want it, and you've done a fantastic job with it. So all of the products you mentioned, including the socks, most importantly the socks, and the sea life housing, and the backscatter lights, and the GoPro 10, and the Night Sea Solar from Light and Motion, and Matthias's courses will all be linked in the description of this video below, of course. So if you are stuck for a present for the underwater filmmaker on your gift list this year, hopefully some of that will provide you some kind of inspiration. So the only thing I've got left to ask you, Matthias, is...
Yes.
What are your resolutions or your goals, or what are you looking forward to in 2022?
A few things. Before I get into that, just one quick side note there before I forget. Since it is Christmas time, the Christmas season, the season of giving, I really want to give something back for all the support that I've received from all of you guys, from you, James, as well, over the last couple of years, really. And if you do want to get yourself or a loved underwater enthusiast the underwater videography course, Learn to Film Underwater, I'm going to throw in a 20% discount code below in the description. So if you type that in, you're going to get yourself a 20% Christmas discount on that course, which I'll happily give to anyone buying that course before Christmas. All right. And coming to your question, what I'm looking forward in next year, for the next year, I really want to travel more. Now I really think that we've kind of passed this whole Corona thing to the major extent of it. There's probably still few bits and pieces here and there, but I'm very comfortable saying that it's gonna go upwards from now and that we will be able to travel more again. I want to do more trips like I've done in Egypt, hopefully this time also with some of you guys being there, tagging along, maybe even doing some courses on location at some of these places. So that's really what I'm looking for, being able to travel more, going places, creating content, just helping you guys out become better underwater filmmakers. And last but not least, I want to come and visit. I want to come and visit you, James.
Come on over, buddy.
It's definitely time that we see each other again.
Absolutely. Come on over. I can't wait to show you all the sites we've got here in South Florida and all the crazy and different ways that we do dives. And yeah, it would just be a pleasure to have you here and keep making content. So that's
awesome. Looking forward to it. What about you?
Oh, I don't know. So travel, yes, absolutely. You know, excited to be going back to South Africa for the sardine run again. That for me is going to be an annual fixture. I mean, it's so addictive, and it's a trip that, you know, we did last July, and I'm itching to go back. I'm so excited to go back because it's just addictive. It really is. So that for sure. We did, you know, you say COVID's passed, we actually did still have a couple of trips lined up for 2022 that we've already pulled the plug on, just because the countries that were going to be hosting us just aren't able to open yet. So we couldn't, you know, get the trips prepared in time. We were going to do Truk in Micronesia, we were going to do the Philippines, and it just doesn't look like the situation in those two places in particular. But hopefully Karina and I can get together and you know, sort of scratch our heads and come up with some more adventures. I'd be super keen to do something maybe closer to home here in Miami, maybe something Caribbean based, or Mexico, or maybe Costa Rica, something like that. So let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see a Divers Ready trip to any of those locales. So that's for sure. I have a few other goals that I want to work on as well. I'm doing a free diving course in February because I suck at free diving. So a friend of mine has invited me along on a course that he's hosting with a world famous instructor. Name and date to be revealed on that one. I'm going to keep those cards close to my chest. But that's something I'm interested in. You know, I'm always trying to learn new skills, and this year was focused on getting the new camera housing ready and that kind of stuff. So now I'm like, okay, what can I learn next year? Free diving. I've never really learnt free diving. I've picked up bits and pieces here and there, but it's something that that definitely needs work. So I'm looking forward to brushing up those skills and just seeing where the channel and the content and the year takes us. You know, we've got a pretty full teaching schedule already lined up for next year, and yeah, you know, continuing our partnership and keep making these videos as well, and just see where this weird YouTube journey takes us in 2020. Is it 2022 already?
I know. It just seemed, when I look back, it just seems like we just sort of turned the millennia like a few days ago.
When somebody says 10 years ago, I think 1990.
I know, right? But no, it's not. It's like 30 years ago. What?
Yeah. When someone says, oh yeah, that was 10 years ago, I'm like, 1990? No, it wasn't. What?
Mate, are we getting old?
Yeah, we are.
Or just better looking?
Both.
Both, okay.
Sounds good.
I can live with that.
Enough of our rambling ways. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you so much for joining us. Whatever you are celebrating this time of year, I hope you do it safely and in the company of your loved ones. I hope you get all the Christmas holiday presents you could ever possibly wish for. And most importantly, we would like to wish you a very safe, happy and healthy 22. Thank you so much for joining us for this journey, for this year. And Matthias, buddy, Merry Christmas to you, and I look forward to seeing you next year.
Merry Christmas to you as well, and let's rock 2022.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.